I found myself alone on a desolate road, surrounded by an inky darkness that seemed to absorb the feeble glow of my car's headlights. The air was thick with an unspoken unease as I navigated through the night, the road stretching ahead like an ominous ribbon leading into the unknown. The silence was broken only by the low hum of the engine and the rhythmic thud of my own heartbeat. Shadows danced along the edges of the road, distorted by the sporadic flickering of the car's lights. As I drove deeper into the isolation, an unsettling fog crept in, transforming the surroundings into a spectral dreamscape. My senses heightened as the engine suddenly sputtered, a disconcerting hiccup that echoed through the eerie silence. Panic gripped me as I desperately tried to coax the car back to life, but the engine remained stubbornly silent. Stranded in the heart of the unknown, I surveyed the desolate landscape, feeling the weight of isolation settle over me like a suffocating blanket. Out of the mist emerged a lone figure, its silhouette gradually materializing through the haze. Dressed in tattered clothes, it moved with an otherworldly grace, sending shivers down my spine. As the figure drew closer, I could discern hollow eyes that seemed to hold the weight of forgotten sorrows. Compelled by an unseen force, I stepped out of the car, my breath visible in the frigid air. The figure stopped, its gaze fixed upon me. It uttered no words, but the air resonated with a chilling energy. A sudden gust of wind carried whispers, echoing tales of despair and tragedy. In a moment of terror, I realized I was not alone. Shadows stirred at the periphery of my vision, and the fog morphed into ethereal shapes that seemed to watch my every move. The haunted road had become a stage for a spectral performance, and I was an unwitting participant in a macabre play. As the figure extended an ethereal hand, I recoiled, stumbling backward into the oppressive darkness. The road, once a path to somewhere, now felt like a labyrinth leading nowhere but into the clutches of the supernatural. The figure, a harbinger of forgotten nightmares, pursued me with relentless determination. I ran, my footsteps echoing through the haunted night. The boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred, and the road itself seemed to twist and contort, leading me deeper into the abyss. Each turn revealed ghastly apparitions, each bend in the road unraveling a tale of horror. Exhausted and breathless, I stumbled upon an abandoned mansion, a decaying relic of a time long past. The air grew colder, and the ghostly figure continued its pursuit. As I entered the dilapidated mansion, the walls whispered tales of betrayal and tragedy, and the air resonated with the anguished cries of forgotten souls. The mansion became a nightmare-sh labyrinth, with each room a portal to a different horror. The echoes of my footsteps merged with the haunting chorus of the Forsaken. In the heart of the mansion, I faced a spectral entity, a manifestation of the road's haunted history. With a chilling revelation, the entity spoke through the wind, recounting a tale of a past intertwined with mine. The road, the car, the mansion, all connected in a web of malevolence. The boundary between the living and the dead shattered, and I became entangled in a nightmare from which there was no escape. As the horrors of the road enveloped me, I realized that my journey was not just a physical one. It was a descent into the shadows of the past, a confrontation with the sins and sorrows that lingered on that haunted stretch of road. And as the ghostly figure faded into the mist, I was left alone in the darkness, forever marked by the terrors of the road less traveled. Second story. The night was shrouded in an impenetrable darkness as I navigated the desolate road. The dim glow of my car's headlights cut through the obsidian night, revealing the twisted branches of gnarled trees that seemed to claw at the sky. An unsettling stillness hung in the air, broken only by the low hum of the engine. As I pressed on, a thick fog rolled in, reducing visibility to an eerie haze. The road stretched ahead like an endless abyss, and the distant echoes of my own engine added to the disquieting atmosphere. Suddenly, the headlights flickered, casting erratic shadows that danced along the edges of the road. Unease settled in as the car's engine sputtered, threatening to succumb to the oppressive silence. I pulled over, the only source of light now emanating from my flickering hazard lights. The air outside felt charged with an unseen energy, and the fog seemed to thicken, closing in like a sinister shroud. A distant figure emerged from the fog, barely visible at first, but gradually taking shape. My pulse quickened as the silhouette drew nearer, revealing a ghostly figure dressed in tattered clothes. Panic seized me, and I fumbled to restart the car, but the engine remained stubbornly silent. The ghostly figure approached the window, its face obscured by darkness. A cold chill enveloped the car as its hollow eyes locked onto mine. Desperation clawed at my chest as I realized this was no ordinary encounter. A spectral entity from the haunted road sought to claim me. With a surge of dread, I abandoned the lifeless car and stumbled into the night, pursued by unseen whispers and the relentless footsteps of the ghostly figure. The road, now an ominous labyrinth, seemed to twist and contort, leading me deeper into the clutches of the supernatural. As I ran, the fog thickened, distorting reality itself. Shadows morphed into sinister shapes, and the disembodied whispers grew into anguished cries. Every step echoed like a heartbeat in the haunted night, and the road became a nightmarish tapestry of fear. The ghostly figure continued its pursuit, a relentless specter on the cursed road. I raced forward, my breath hitching, and the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. The car, now a distant silhouette, served as a haunting reminder of the horrors that lurked on that desolate stretch of road.
Third story. On that desolate road, the darkness seemed to swallow everything. I was alone, surrounded by towering trees that whispered with the secrets of the forgotten. Each step echoed, resonating through the eerie silence. As I walked, a distant fog crept in, obscuring the path ahead. The only guide was the dim glow of the moon, casting long, unsettling shadows. The air grew colder, and an unsettling sensation crawled up my spine. My footsteps became hesitant, as if the road itself warned of an impending horror. In the distance, I heard faint, ghostly whispers, like echoes from a realm beyond. As I turned a corner, an abandoned mansion emerged, its windows shattered, and its facade a decaying witness to time's cruelty. Compelled by an unseen force, I entered. The floorboards groaned beneath my weight, protesting the intrusion. Each room harbored a chilling tale, remnants of a tragic past etched into the very walls. Unseen eyes seemed to follow my every move, and the air grew thick with an unspoken malevolence. With a sudden jolt, the temperature plummeted, and an otherworldly presence made itself known. My breath formed frosty clouds as a spectral figure materialized before me. Its anguished gaze bore into my soul, recounting a tale of betrayal and despair. Panic gripped me as the walls seemed to close in, trapping me in a macabre dance with the supernatural. I stumbled backward, desperately retracing my steps along the haunted road. Whispers intensified, shadows danced menacingly, and the fog thickened, distorting reality. The boundary between the living and the dead blurred, and I found myself entangled in a nightmare from which escape seemed impossible. As I fled the accursed mansion, the road stretched endlessly, a labyrinth of fear and torment. The echoes of my own footsteps merged with the haunting chorus of the forsaken. The road, a spectral tapestry woven with the threads of horror, ensnared me in its web, ensuring that the terrors of that forsaken night would forever linger in the recesses of my haunted soul.